Hello and welcome back, guys. Today, in this video, we will cover the following topics: what is a nursery, purpose of nursery, election of nursery site, types of nursery. These are few basic types. Next is some conclusion. Let's start. So, first of all, what is a nursery? A nursery is a place where plants are propagated and grown to a desired size and age. So, a place where the plants are being propagated and are grown to a desired size and age, to the size, to the age which we want. So, that place is called nursery. Mostly, the plants concerned are for gardening, forestry, or conservation biology. Now, there can be three basic types of nursery, which are retail nursery, wholesale nursery, and private nurseries. As their names are suggesting, retail nurseries, which will sell to the general public, wholesale nurseries, which will sell only to the businesses or to other nurseries or to commercial gardeners, private nurseries, uh, which are made privately by an institution or by private estates, and these also work for plant breedings. Experiments usually happen in these kind of nurseries. So these are the three basic types of nurseries. Next we have is the purpose of nursery. Why do we need a nursery? So it is used for artificial plantation. We raise nurseries in those areas where natural regeneration is low or slow. Means these in if you want to plant any plant, so we use these kind of places which are called as nurseries. In nurseries, these are those areas where natural regeneration is low or slow. These are raised to get plants of right size at the right time. These are raised to get such plants which are good in health. Production of desired size, age, and number of seedlings. Means whatever we want, we can are related to plants, their proper growth, their proper size, their proper age. We can fulfill that purpose in a nursery. Next we have is election of a nursery site. So selection of a site for a large nursery is a very difficult task, requiring mature judgment and careful study. The most important factors influencing the selection of a nursery site are species of stock to be raised, soil, water supply, slope, aspect, and environment, adequate labor supply, readily accessible to main highways, to railroads, electric power. सो ऐसा नहीं होता है कि हम कोई भी साइट सिलेक्ट करेंगे और वहीं पर हम नर्सरी बना देंगे। ये चीज़ पॉसिबल नहीं होती है, और अगर पॉसिबल हम करना भी चाहते हैं तो वो एक टेम्परेरी बेसिस पर होगा, और क्या पता वो चीज़ वर्क करेगी भी या नहीं करेगी। सो नर्सरी की साइट को सिलेक्ट करने के लिए हमें कुछ चीज़ों का ध्यान रखना पड़ता है, जैसे कि हमें कौन कौन से प्लांट्स रेज़ करने हैं। अब जो प्लांट्स हमें रेज़ करने हैं उसके अकॉर्डिंग ही हम कोई भी जगह सिलेक्ट करेंगे। नेक्स्ट वी हैव टू टेक केयर इज़ ऑफ द सॉइल, वहाँ पर सॉइल किस तरह की प्रेजेंट है, वाटर सप्लाई इज़ देयर और नॉट, प्रॉपर वाटर सप्लाई इज़ नीडेड। Next, the slope, environment, the kind of environment present there. Suppose if we want to grow the plants which are which grow in summer, which need a longer day light, so we cannot grow them in a region where there is less daylight. So we have to take care of the environment also. Next is adequate labor supply, and the nursery must be accessible to highways, railroads, and electric powers for transportation purposes. Because if we are making a nursery, we will transport plants from one place to another, so the nursery must be easily accessible to the main highways and roads. Next, now on the basis of water availability, nursery can be classified as dry nursery and wet nurseries. As their names are suggesting, dry nursery, there will be shortage of water, and wet nursery, there will be no shortage of water. So who is a nurseryman? A person who owns or works in a nursery is called a nurseryman. So what is dry nursery? Dry nursery, a nursery in which water availability is not on the permanent basis, is known as dry nursery. Because means we are getting water but not on the permanent basis, it's a temporary. thing. In this type of nursery, the water is provided by artificial means. Example, by making an artificial pond or any other artificial means. So we are providing water as an artificial medium. Next one is wet nursery. So in wet nursery, the water is available on the permanent basis. This can be with the help of a river, pond, or something like that. So the water will be available on permanent basis. Next, on the basis of root covering, nurseries can be divided as bare root nurseries and p-tube nurseries. Bare root nurseries, bare means जिनकी roots covered ना हो, open rooted means जिनकी roots covered ना हो, open हो. So these are the bare root nurseries or open rooted nursery. Name से ही clear हो जाएगा. P tube or covered or potted nursery means with the plants will be present in pots. Now see the diagrams also. You can see here, this is the bare rooted nursery. Here we have a P tube or covered or potted nursery. These are also potted nursery. This is bare root nursery, and these are the plants that likely to arrive bare root. bare root कौन कौन से plants जो हैं वो grow हो सकते हैं. This is the example. Next we have the advantages and disadvantages of open rooted plants. Means if we are growing plants open rooted, means we are not growing them in a pot or something. So what will be the advantages and disadvantages of that process? So there the advantages will be, there is less weight to transport from the nursery of permanent site. Pots are heavy. Now we all know pots are heavy, so if the plants are open rooted, they can be easily transported because we can lift the plant very easily. Next is, it takes less time to transplant open rooted stock. Obviously we are taking a plant from a nursery in a pot. We have to uh, you know uh, take the plant out from that pot. We have to separate its soil, and we have to take care of the things, like we do not have to uh, damage its roots. So it will take less time. If these are open rooted, we just have to buy it from the nursery and put it in the soil or wherever the place we want to grow them. Less care of open rooted seedlings is required in the nursery. If we are going them open rooted, it means they are getting their natural soil, their natural fertilizers and everything, so we do not have to take care of them much more. Next, what are the disadvantages? So first of all, open rooted seedlings will need more space. The nursery location must have good soil conditions, as we are not adding any artificial soil, so it must have a good soil condition. Roots are exposed to air, so when the plants are lifted out of the nursery soil and again when they are planted at the permanent site, this can damage the plant. So obviously the plants, this is the main disadvantage of this method, because roots are exposed to air. So whenever we are shifting a plant, we are lifting a plant, there will be a danger of the roots to be damaged. So these were the disadvantages now of open rooted plants. Next we have the advantages and disadvantages of potted plants. Means we are growing the plant in a pot. So in case of potted plants, good soil is not required at the nursery side. Seedlings can be placed closer together than in the open rooted method. Obviously in open rooted we have to place them at a certain space with a particular spacing, but in case of potted plants, we do not have to take care of these things. We can place the seedlings closer. Root growth is contained in a package that is easy to transport, and there is low or no exposure of hair roots to the air during transporting or transplanting. Now, obviously, we are lifting, we are transporting them in a package. So, roots are not exposed, so the air cannot contaminate it, and the plant won't get damaged. On difficult sites, potted plants may have better survival rates than open rooted seedlings. Obviously, the places where we cannot grow open rooted seedlings, we can grow their potted plants. Soil diseases may not be spread as rapidly to potted seedlings as in open rooted beds. Now, next we have is disadvantages. Disadvantages of potted nursery. The seedlings require root pruning while in nursery pots. Obviously, we have to prune them time to time so that the plants, the weeds that we do not want to grow in that pot won't grow. Otherwise, there will be a lot of weeds, a lot of grasses in the pot. Pots cannot be piled up for transport. We cannot pile up the pots, because if we will do so, the pots will break. These are heavier and more difficult to transport. Obviously, pots will be more heavier, and if they are heavier, it will be difficult to lift them and hence difficult to transport. Seedlings are normally smaller at the time of transplanting and require extra protection from grazing livestock until they are larger. Pots must usually be purchased, which may or may not be a problem depending on time saved in the nursery or on the expense of making certain soil ready for open rooted planting. Now, obviously, we have to buy the pots, so it can be a problem or may not be a problem. So, both the factors are there depending on the conditions. Next kind of plants we have is on the basis of time span. These can be temporary nursery or permanent nursery. Temporary, as its name indicate, which is made for a temporary period of time. So seeds are planted in a protected area, and after they germinate, the saplings are transferred to the main field. These are also called as seed nursery. These are made are very close to the main planting field. After the planting operation is done in the main field, the nursery is disassembled. Since these are temporary, they do not have permanent structures like office area, fixed irrigation systems, and fencing, etc. Now, obviously, we are doing any task for upon a permanent basis. We won't be so attached to it. हमें कोई फ़र्क नहीं पड़ेगा उसमें, हमें हर एक चीज़ अवेलेबल नहीं करानी पड़ेगी, नहीं हमें ज़रूरत दिखेगी अगर हमें वहाँ पर टेम्परेरी रहना है। तो जैसे कि अगर हमें कहीं पर भी टेम्परेरीली रहना भी होता है, तो हम अपनी तरफ से कुछ ना कुछ जुगाड़ कर ही लेते हैं, कुछ ना कुछ टेम्परेरी उसका सॉल्यूशन ढूंढ ही लेते हैं। परमानेंटली ऐसा नहीं होता है कि हम वहाँ पर अपनी हिसाब से, अपनी सहूलियत के हिसाब से हर चीज़ लेकर आएँ। ऐसा कब होगा? अगर हमें वहाँ पर परमानेंट बेसिस पर रहना है। But on temporary basis we can adjust, and similar case happens in temporary nursery. In this kind of nursery, kind of nursery is made near to the planting operations, near to the main planting field, and once the task for which the nursery was made, once the task is complete, the nursery will be disassembled. Now, since these are temporary, there will be no permanent structures like office space, irrigation system, and etc. Next, we have is permanent nurseries. These type of nurseries are permanent structures and are made for large scale productions. These nurseries are made to provide saplings and supplied for long term. Hence, these nurseries are equipped with permanent structures such as fixed irrigation systems, fencing, office packaging area, composting area, courtyard, etc. Now we are making these kind of nurseries on a permanent basis. If we are making them for a permanent basis, we will expect some kind of income from it. We will make sure that it will look beautiful, it will be having all the facilities. So we will arrange irrigation system, fencing, packaging, office area, composting area, every kind of need that is needed. Now, conclusion: establishment of nurseries is important for the following reasons. It is imperative to give the young seedlings special attention in the first few weeks after germination. Young or tender seedlings growing in the nursery beds are easier and more economical to care for in a small area than in the main planting field. Vegetative propagation is the most common method of propagating fruits crops prior to transplanting propagules in the main field. Special skills and aftercare are necessary. All of these tasks can be successfully performed by the skilled labor in a nursery under controlled conditions. When compared to the transplanting of seedlings raised in nursery, direct sowing is less successful in several crops. And production of healthy plants, production of plants of superior quality. These are the some factors which we consider while planting, while establishing a nursery. The some more factors are: the seedlings of some species grow very slowly, and if they are sown directly in the main field, they are most likely to become overwhelmed by weeds and die. For this reason, slow growing species are generally raised in nurseries and planted out when weeds are unlikely to damage the seedlings. Next is production of desired number of seedlings. Next, in order to artificially regenerate barren and poor farming sites, nursery grown plants are the most reliable method. and the production of proposed size and age of seedlings, which is the very common term we are studying from the starting. So this was the contents we covered in this video: nursery, types of nursery, purpose of nursery, site for nursery, conclusion, different kinds of nurseries. I hope you understood all the terms and things. And still, if you have any doubt, you can comment me. I hope you liked the video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. Thanks for watching.